Fancy lad.
Fancy lad.
Fancy
Podcast. Fancy lad.
Fancy
Podcast. Gonna talk to my friends. Gonna share a
Fancy
thought.
lad.
Gonna have a laugh. That's what I
Fancy
thought.
lad.
Fancy lad. The
Fancy
Fancy
lad.
Podcast. Fancy lad. Fancy lad
Fancy lad.
podcast. Yeah.
And we are back.
Oh, wow. Yes, we are. We are back, in fact.
Back, in fact.
Mhm.
Don't call it a comeback.
No, don't do that.
I brought my snack pack.
Patty whack.
Give a dog a bone. Yeah, I did. You let me finish.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Give a dog a bone. Ner.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was way fucking sicker when Nate Prasad nollied the fucking double set with a boner.
Dude, anything with boner is cooler.
So you're pro boner.
Well, actually, you know what? I take that back immediately because there's a lot of things, if people have a boner, it's immediately not cool.
Well, then whenever I ask you to do anything,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like for the company, you always say, yeah, I'll do it pro boner.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take your erection out.
Well, I think that's funny.
Well,
That's one of the situations where
okay,
it
so
is.
there's two categories,
Mhm.
and it falls into the boner plus category.
Boner Plus. And listen, you know, if you subscribe to Boner Plus,
Yeah.
it's only $7.99 a month,
Right.
$799 a month.
A month.
I just wanted to be clear. I didn't want
So
you
when you
to
said
think
$7.99, you actually meant $799 a month.
it's actually $799.99. I just didn't want to mention that part.
God, dude, this better be worth it because I just subscribed,
Mhm.
and I'm past the 7-day money back guarantee.
Well, I mean, I think you're going to enjoy it.
All right.
It comes with a premium boner package.
I mean, this is something that you started, right?
Oh, no. They
Oh.
just reached out to me to do an advertising for them.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So not necessarily paid sponsor of the podcast, just
No.
paid sponsor of Tom Tweak,
No,
who
they don't.
happens to be on the podcast.
They don't even pay me.
Oh,
They just asked me to do it pro boner.
so just refresh my memory again when I'm looking forward to in the Boner Plus package.
Okay, well, there's tons of more streaming options in there. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to see a lot more on-demand boners.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the big difference between that and the regular boner package.
All right. Well,
But it's only 99 cents more expensive than the regular one.
yeah.
The regular one's straight $799.
That's nothing.
Mhm.
Well, you know what? I need to either cancel Disney Plus or Boner Plus because I can't afford them both.
And you know, that's a little. If the FBI looks at your accounts and they see that you have both of those,
What happens?
they might get the wrong idea.
What are they gonna send fucking Mulder and Scully after me, bro?
Yeah, they're gonna think you're a ghost.
Fuck. So they're on to me.
Mhm.
You know, all I wanted to say was that we were back, and then you rhymed it with something, so then I rhymed it with naturally snack pack, and then
Right.
that set us on a downward spiral, and
Well, at least they know we're back.
they know we're back, and
Right.
quite frankly, I want to ask, how's it going? You know?
Oh man, it's just going so dang well.
Because as the listeners know, we don't talk outside the podcast. I don't get to hear about your day, your
Nope.
week, your month, or
Mhm.
even your year.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Please subscription to Boner Plus.
Well, I mean, now you know about the subscription,
Right.
so that's been taking up most of my last 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, you know, just sleeping, and you know, just completely redid the driveway.
You redid it.
Yep.
With what?
Well, I just didn't like the flat surface there, so I just ripped it up, and I chopped it all up into small rocks.
Mhm.
Then I put that back in the driveway. Not really holding up well.
Interesting.
Tried to back out, the car just dug itself in.
Are you stuck like quicksand or something?
Yeah, it's slower than quicksand. It's
Yeah.
a lot slower.
Okay.
And it's not as, quicksand's kind of cool.
But you redid your driveway, and then you got your car back in there.
Oh, yeah, I got it in there. But getting it out.
That's the tough part.
That's the tough part. Damn. I don't know. Maybe it is like quicksand. Maybe if I go in the car and just don't struggle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'll get out.
It's like a Chinese finger trap.
Just stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just like a Chinese finger trap.
That's what I was trying to say.
Maybe that's what I should have repaved my driveway with.
You should have repaved with Chinese finger traps.
Just a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
Well, what have you been up to?
Oh, God. I'm so glad you asked.
Really?
No, because, dude, I'm about to really just freak out right now because I literally don't know what I've been up to.
Are you because you haven't been up to anything, or do you think you have a memory issue right now?
The memory issue, dude.
Oh, it's
That's
a memory
what I'm saying.
issue.
I think I just started Memento 2.
Dude, really?
IRL.
Dude, that's pretty sick, though.
That is pretty sick.
Did you check your arms?
Oh, no, hold on. I don't remember these being covered in tattoos.
Oh, what do they say?
This one says, note to self. I'm just not going to read that one.
No. I think you should. I think whatever they say, I think you should go with them.
This one says, Halloween's coming up. Don't forget your boo colored Oreos.
That probably is supposed to say boob.
Yeah. Your boob colored Oreos.
And it probably, yeah.
Everyone's favorite Oreo color.
Yep.
Well, seriously, let me just say I've been, joining the biker gang.
Oh, right. That's, the biker gang. That's right.
Yeah.
I've been doing some biking.
Which you are a part of.
Dude, I've been doing some biking, too.
Yeah, you're a part of the gang, the biker gang.
I mean, look at these calves.
I'm looking at them. You cut holes for your knees and you cut holes for your calves, which is really weird.
Well, they're just also pointy. They just poke through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I hope you're happy because the war is over. The bikers won, dude.
I know.
They won't even step foot in the van now.
Dude, I am not happy. The reason I took my bike out of the buried garage in the first place,
yep,
is because it was a day that we were all going skating, and I hit you up, and I hit Matt up, and I hit Sam up, and Matt said, "Hey, we're biking to Ruggles," and I was like, "Okay." So I dug my bike out. I was like, "Hey, Pete, we're biking to Ruggles," and then by the time we were like heading there, Matt's like, "Oh, we're heading back. We were just waiting for everyone else." Is like, well, now my bike's out. It is fun to ride it, but I want to get in the van and go places. I don't want to just bike around looking for spots as if we don't know what's out there.
I know. But, I couldn't beat him, so I decided to join him as well. But luckily, the colder weather seasons come up, and they're not going to last a fucking second.
Oh, no, your hand's getting cold?
I can't go in the van. You heat up my cold fingertips.
Please, let us in the van. It's so cold out here.
All right, get in the van. I can't say no to you guys.
I don't know, right?
I was gonna say no and be mean, but it's too mean. Get in the van. It actually is really cold out here.
But leave the bikes.
Leave the bikes.
Yeah, but hopefully I think they'll get over it.
Yeah, but well, it's gonna make Fisk happy which is weird that I actually haven't seen Fisk out on a bike at the same time. But I just wanted to address this new craze, because there's always something. There's always something at the house that's a new craze. Now it's bikes, and now it's Pokemon cards.
Oh yeah, they're getting back into the Pokemon, eh?
Yeah.
It's
just like it's always like, what's next, guys?
Digimon, probably, right?
Probably Yu-Gi-Oh,
Beetleborg,
fucking Naruto or some shit. I don't fucking know, dude. I don't know what that crap is.
Yeah, it's true.
But you know what I love about those cards and shows is, the artwork.
Hey, artwork is cool, and it's a huge part of a lot of things that people like, whether
That's
or not
true.
they recognize that.
That's true. You wouldn't believe it, but there's a creative design that goes into a lot of things. And I thought to myself, we've had skaters on the show.
Oh, we've had skaters.
We've had artists.
Oh, we've had artists.
Why not yet another skate artist?
Wait, stick the two together?
Yeah.
So another skate artist.
Yeah, another skater
Mhm.
and another artist.
That'd be sick. And, they should probably be pretty well intertwined with the skate industry.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, that would be a nice touch.
And, before we go to find this skate artist of the industry,
I'm ready for the hunt.
we do, I
I'm
just
ready for
want
the
to
hunt.
express my biggest complaint about biking.
Oh, please do. Hit me. Do you want to beat?
It's not very long
Okay.
story, but yes.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, hit it.
Yo. Yeah. My name is Big, and I just want to say I'm fucking fed up with the way things going today. This fucking bike's out on the streets that don't have a bottle for me to pee in. A bottle for...
That is a very good point. You can get a cup holder, though.
Yeah, but
Or I guess they're bottle holders. Really.
you're not surrounded by tinted windows, elevated so nobody can see you pee.
I don't know why the bike frame, has that main one that goes across, one that goes down,
Yep.
and one that goes up. Why isn't there a fourth bar in there, one that just goes and just kind of leads up,
Right
so
into
you
your
have another
penis.
cup holder where
Mhm.
you put a cup. So you could just have your dick going through the saddle. That's
Mhm.
what they call a seat. I learned that from Lebzo.
Okay, you know what? That's actually a good idea.
Thank you. Maybe should we take that out of the podcast
And we're
so
gonna
no
have
one
to-
steals it?
We're going to have to take that out of the podcast,
Victor, remember to take that out of the podcast.
but don't take this part out of the podcast.
Mhm.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Undead beware! The undead party crasher cares not for your festivities of evil afterlife. Thou hast been vanquished before, and I shall vanquish thee again!
Oh, hey, Father. Hey, yeah, sorry to interrupt. I know you're up here doing all this vanquishing stuff, but, we could really use you to help barricade the door shut.
Shut up, you imbecile! This passage is our salvation. Our big and bold American Imperial Stout utilizes holy water and a malt bill including smoked malts for an Imperial Stout that bursts with dark malt flavor.
Okay, right, yeah, no, that all sounds really, really good and very appealing, but, I mean, you say it's salvation, but it reads like ad copy.
Ad copy? Don't be ridiculous. Who in their right mind would do an advertisement in a time like this?
I don't know, maybe the same fucking guy that's trying to read scripture instead of help barricade the doors.
Well, maybe this fucking guy is the only one that actually has a chance of saving. Oh dear, what? Oh God, they've broken through the door.
Fuck. Oh my God.
Oh God, no,
Oh my God.
no,
Oh my God.
Run, no, stay away
shit,
from
no,
me.
wait, no, help. Oh,
Oh,
no,
God.
they got me.
Oh, no.
Oh my God, no, they're ripping open.
No, not the
oh my
undead
God.
body
Oh my God,
crasher.
hitting my stomach. No. Oh my God. It's probably all the 9% Cloud Shoes brand beer I was drinking. Oh.
For more information on Clown Shoes brand beer, or where you can get Clown Shoes brand beer, visit www.clownshoesbeer.com.
Yeah.
And we are back.
Oh, we are back, and that was a good break.
It was just one of those breaks you dream about.
Oh my goodness! And I've been dreaming so goddamn much about dreams lately, Big Zo. I really
Yeah.
want to get into it, but I know
We're going to have to do a bonus episode just so I can hear about your dreams.
You know what? That sounds like a good idea.
But in the meantime, let me just
Dude.
cracked into one of these. This is actually a Liquid Death, one of the podcast sponsors here.
Oh my goodness! Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because I got something a little strange, a little different for the listeners.
Hit me.
This is actually a Greenport House Pills.
Oh, a little guest beer sponsor of the podcast.
This is
other
a
than-
little one-off guest beer sponsor, courtesy of our old friend Mark Weiss,
Oh yeah.
who everyone will be happy to know survived the helicopter crash.
Old friend, former guest.
Mhm.
You know him. You love him.
You love him.
Mark Weiss.
Still alive.
But this isn't about former guests.
This isn't the Mark Weiss podcast.
No.
This isn't the Greenport House Pills podcast.
No.
And it's certainly not the Liquid Death podcast, although we do appreciate and love our sponsor, Liquid Death.
Exactly. But without further ado, let's introduce our current guest.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
Local legend, Russ Pope.
Mhm.
Russ?
Hello. Nice
Hello.
to meet you guys. I already cracked. I can't follow suit with a crack, so just pretend I just cracked as well.
We always keep extras on hand just so in case we need a crack,
Speaking
could have done that.
Speaking of cracks, Tom, I meant to say this before the podcast.
Mhm.
If you could refrain from any jokes like, does Russ Pope shit in the woods? What does Russ Pope wear a funny hat? And if you just couldn't call him Russ Poop as well, I think he would really appreciate it. I haven't asked him, but
I mean, if that makes you guys feel good, you should do it.
I didn't even think of Russ Poop. That's good.
hey, if it feels good, do it.
Yeah.
It feels
say
good, man.
I'd
Do
say
it.
it felt good.
Okay, so first question: does Russ Pope shit in the woods?
Not if I can help it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an emergency situation only, and yeah, I have done it, but it's not a pretty thing.
It's not ideal.
No, the cleanup's the bad part, right? It's like the shitting in the woods is a nice relief,
Right.
but if when you've got to do a little maintenance before everything comes back up, it's just deciding what you use to do the maintenance job with.
The leaves.
Yeah. I usually
Whatever, a t-shirt and you leave it in the woods, whatever.
Yeah.
I usually use a nice girthy like stick or log.
Yeah, just
Nice girthy, maybe about 8 to 10 inches long,
that's wonderful.
just to clean it out.
Well, that's why
Makes
Fisk would
sense.
always wear those white tank tops,
Right.
so you just
There we go.
dispose them. But
Yep.
no. All jokes aside, Russ, thanks for being on the podcast.
Hey, happy to be here.
Admired your work for quite some time. Naturally, I heard of you through the transportation unit, the
Sure.
the skateboard company that you own,
Yeah,
and
transporting units.
arguably probably the other main Boston brand board company other than Fancy Lad. I mean, Orchard's the shop.
Mhm.
Ra's not around.
Mhm.
I'm just going down the list.
Yeah, what else is there?
Heartthrobs.
Oh yeah, Heartthrobs.
Yeah.
But that
There's
was
some
low
other
key.
stuff.
That's low key.
Yeah,
That is low key.
low key.
High water.
Corner store.
Corner store.
Yeah.
of course.
You want to give
True.
All right, that's what I'm saying. I'm giving all the props where props are due.
Oh, absolutely. And
Miss
they're
the Mr. Jimmy Lake.
Yep.
oh yeah.
Yellow Exit Jimmy Lake.
That's right.
And he might be on the next podcast, but
You don't have
so far what we've been doing is we take the Fancy Lad riders
That's
and we
pretty
ask
good.
them. That's a real Jimmy Lake quote.
That was a really good one.
Yeah.
Thank you. I like to mix it up with the Friday Night Lights, and they'll say, "It's like I don't want your eyes."
Oh my lord.
I think that's pretty good too.
So good.
When he came over our place in Jamaica Plain, he was telling me that he hasn't scouted around to find many more spots around JP, and I'm like, Jimmy, I've lived here for 8 years, okay? I don't think there's any spots around JP that I don't know about. And he said, you don't have my eyes.
Oh my god. Like I can just picture it too. You don't have my eyes.
Yep, exactly.
Hey, we gotta say, yelling to Jimmy Lake. Love Jimmy Lake.
And he's listening to the
right, he's a
podcast
great
right now.
guy.
He listens to this podcast.
Oh man.
Dude,
So-
he is
That's
the best.
just
So that's all of this. Joking aside, it's that all comes from a place of extreme love because Jimmy Lake is the ruler for sure.
I
He's a
mean,
great guy.
typically when we quote someone for years and years, we have an affection for him. You
Right.
know?
Yeah, he's a swell human.
Yeah.
He's the GOAT. It's a show of affection, exactly.
He's super duper.
But what I was going to say was we've been going down the list of riders, and last episode we had Christian Svitek on the company because
The
Matt
podcast.
Matt used to on the podcast
Right.
because Matt used to ride for 1031. Now
Yeah.
we decided to have you on the company because Benton used to ride for a transportation unit. So
That's right.
I figured that we might have similar tastes.
Oh, I think so. John's a badass, man. He's like one of my favorites. He's on my top 10 hit list for contemporary rollers. Period. Anywhere.
He's a hard-working roller, I'll tell you. I think
He's
that's
a good-
his strong suit.
Well,
passionate.
I was gonna say that, and two, he's a sweet human being. Which, like, I'm a super sucker for good humans too. Like, there's a lot of people that are good at stuff that suck as humans. So I just don't give a shit about them. But John is a really good skateboarder, but he's also an epic human. So he's like makes him twice as awesome.
Right. Goes
How's
a
that
long
for
way.
corny?
Yeah. We're very happy to have him back in Boston. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
It feels like a better fit, even though I know the weather gets to him or whatever, but it
Yeah.
feels better than having him, feeling. It felt like when he was in Florida, right? It was Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, Florida seemed like it was almost like he had, like it was over. You could tell like his demeanor. And this is not talking shit. This is a positive thing. Just so you can tell he's like, I don't want to be here doing this. I'm not like I have this to go to if I need to do this. The work he was doing there. I mean, I want to go back and hang out with my friends and ride skateboards.
I miss my friends.
I miss my
Yeah.
friends.
Where my friends at?
Oh, there we go. That's a good one too.
Yeah. So
And again, anyone that we are doing impressions of, that's coming from a place of affection.
that's right.
That's the Fancy Lad podcast guarantee.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, we're gonna make dolls that have pull strings that have different sayings for all of our riders. So that's Benton's. You pull it and he says, "I don't know, man."
That's really great.
Yeah.
You should do that.
Thank you.
Pull him again. I miss my friends.
Yeah.
Pull him again. There's a snake in my boots.
I just need to take out a loan to get this
Oh,
capital,
man.
but it'll happen.
Think I could do a slappy on that, or is it too tall?
He's got really tall slappies.
I was
Jesus
gonna
Christ,
say,
dude!
No
He's got-
slappy too tall.
Yeah.
No. I think he's got like the above knee slappy down.
I think he's second only to Kevin Spanky Long.
And you skate with him at Eggs, and he really doesn't ollie into one trick at Eggs.
all. I know it's and it's weird that
Except for no slide.
well
It's
the
one
no
trick he'll
slide
ollie into.
he like it's like a real quick ollie. He just
Yeah, it's like-
slaps into it.
No, but that's like a fly and go. That's like a jam it. He just
Yeah.
jams it. He like
Just
kind of
like-
yanks it and
Yeah.
sets it.
But
Yeah.
oh my god, does him well.
Yeah.
But hey, this isn't the John Benton podcast.
No, it's
No.
not. But, I wanted to say, just wanted to cover that connection, first and foremost. But I
How
also
was
just...
Svitek? Svitek was good.
Oh, Svitek's great. I never talked to him before.
Yeah, he was really cool.
But,
He's good
Very
dude.
cool.
I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm a diehard Label Kills fan, so it was just a pleasure for me to talk to him. But also, I just didn't know that just because he's... I don't know. Whenever somebody is like straight edge, I just never know if they're going to come across kind of. I don't know if they're going to vibe. Really, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they could just be something like
Dude,
a screw loose or something because they just haven't let loose at all. But he was true blue. I'll say.
Dudes can be stuffy, but Svitek's rolled with dudes who are mad loose, so he knows how to have a conversation. Whereas, like, if you're like a Tom Knox, so the original Tom Knox, not the contemporary Tom Knox,
Yeah,
that dude goes and sits in a corner and listens to his headphones and stares at the wall. He's like, I'm not talking to any of you people.
I bet that's the deal with Ben Schroeder too. I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I don't know him at all. I was just having a call back to another episode, but
Nice.
you've been in. I mean, I actually don't know this for sure. This is just what I've heard time and time again. But you started Scarecrow Skateboards.
Scarecrow
Is
was my company. Yeah, Creature was my company too. I started Creature.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always thought they were their sister companies.
No, one killed one to start the other, and then they
I
brought
see.
Creature back.
Yeah. Because right when I started in 96. I remember that a friend of mine had a Scarecrow board, and
Yeah.
it was We were so young, and it was like probably like a 9-inch popsicle board, and it was the biggest thing I've ever seen
Yeah.
in my life at the time. It was comical seeing this little kid riding this board, but that's my first memory of Scarecrow.
That rules. But yeah, we started in like I think it was 95, the beginning of 95, and when we made the boards we made stuff that nobody else was making. We made all the stuff that people did make, 778s and good 8s and all that sort of thing. Then also made some shape boards and I made like some crazy Eddie wheels that were 60 millimeter, like horror film green wheels that like nobody made fucking 60s or 58s or even barely 55s, and everything was still recovering from big pants, small wheels,
Yeah.
So, but we made what I thought were good shapes and bigger stuff, but then also made quote unquote contemporary shit for people who were afraid to get down with big boy stuff.
Did you have a big hand in making a lot of the Scarecrow videos?
Yeah, I did them all. I actually edited them all and filmed a lot of it. So
Disturb Not the Sleep of the Dead?
made it horrendous. Sorry, like to do that to everybody. Like all those, they're horrible. By the way, sorry. I say that when I said that. Yeah, made them.
Are they horrible? I mean,
I don't think they're horrible.
I think they're great.
I had fun doing them, and they were appropriate for the time, right? Like I wasn't being snarky about it. Like at the time, I thought they were great. I thought we were really doing cool shit, and it felt good. Just filming stuff on tape, and then get into an edit studio because we didn't have you were still making hard cuts with stuff. Barely, it was like the end before you had timelines. You could drop chunks of footage and move it around real easily.
Right. Yeah.
We still went to
just doing analog.
Like we actually made like 3/4 inch time coded tapes to do like paper logs of like what gets at time X we in and then we out on this one, intros and outros for each individual clip all the way through. And then when you laid it down, if you had it was really not easy. It was a pain in the fucking ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. I my first year of TV production was all analog, and that was a fucking nightmare. And yeah, I remember having to write down like plan out every single thing, and I remember like realizing there was a mistake like way back and having to go back and redo essentially everything from that point on, having to completely just do again. Yeah. And then we switched to digital, which was great. But you know what, before Fancy Lads started, when I was in college, so like right before Fancy Lads started, I was skating just like exclusively creature boards because they had the fucking fattest tails around. Big fat tail.
Yeah.
Well, by this time you'd probably sold the company.
I was done Creature. I literally like 95 was when I left. So we started Creature in like 92, and then I left, and it lasted like 6 months after I left, and they shut it down, and they brought it back later, which is you could do a whole podcast about the birth and death and reborning of Creature, But
so you had nothing to do with those big fat tails.
So
yeah, I did. The original stuff was all big. So yeah, it was all.
Well, there we go.
The Creature mummy board and stuff. You could actually, the funniest thing was it was done through NHS, right? Which is where Indy comes from or whatever.
Right.
And all the old speedboat shit, but nothing was being made big enough to make the bigger boards that we made. So I actually wound up finding a distributor in the UK that still had anodized Indies left, and I bought leftover dead stock of big Indies, like 159s, 169s, brought them back to NHS that they had sold, whatever, a couple years prior, to use for boards for a Creature, to make these like Creature mummy completes, and other boards just have trucks that fit some of the boards that we were making. And then the wheels that we made, like the mummy wheels or whatever, were 60 millimeter wheels. They were the actual slugs that they would lay down to all the other different sizes of speed wheels. Actually was printing on the 60 millimeter slug, so they actually would put it on a lathe and turn it down to all the sizes because they didn't want to invest the money in molds at that point. So they were just lathing everything down to different sizes because everything was changing so quickly.
Do you have any sort of affinity towards any real reason or backstory to why you picked such a horror imagery for both of those brands, or was it just?
Yeah, no, I love that shit. Like that's my all-time. Like when I was a kid, man, I grew up in. There was a thing called the Monster Mash. It was sort of like Saturday morning cartoons, but like this. If you look it up on like whatever YouTube it or whatever, the Monster Mash, there's like this It played. It was like Saturday or Sunday morning, something like that. Like you would do cartoons. They would play the songs called "The Monster Mash" by Boris Bobby Pickett. He was like a 50s, 60s, pop star, but it was like this. He did the Monster Mash. It was a graveyard smash. He did the mash, like ridiculous song. This dude that's dressed up in like a fursuit would come out and he'd dance to like the record playing or whatever, and dance to the Monster Mash, and they'd play like an old classic horror film, the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi, or the original Mummy, or the Creature of the Black Lagoon, and I lived for that shit. I was like, was my favorite shit. Famous Monsters of Film Magazine, Misfits, all the old original Misfits stuff was before they became Cornballs and Danzig became Danzig. Yeah. They loved horror film shit, right? And it was like so all the original
business,
all of that was like, that was my most favorite prize coveted. Like that was like, I was nerdy as nerdy can get, like old posters, everything.
Right. And the Misfits skull comes from I forget what horror movie it is.
The Crimson Ghost.
Yeah. And
the Crimson Ghost.
And then the name Black Sabbath comes after that horror movie, but
So I had copies of all that, posters of all that stuff, collectible shit from all of like every, and then I collected all the British stuff too, all the Hammer Horror, which was Universal Horror, Universal Studios British version. They made their versions of all those same films with British stars. And then before that, there was stuff like Nosferatu, which was the original silent film, black, and then,
which I remember you sampling that in one of the Scarecrow videos.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And Jason Adams did ride for the company, right? I forget if we asked him about it. My memory's not too good. But we just had him on the podcast before Svitek.
Awesome. So I started Creature with Jason and Barker Barrett. Jason, Barker Barrett, this dude Dorian Tucker, Ronnie Marshall, and then...
Don't you think Dorian Tucker skates just like Mark Johnson?
Yeah, he does.
It's crazy. It's 100%. Uncanny. If he dressed up like him for Halloween, I swear to God, people wouldn't be able to tell him apart.
Dude, Dorian was one of the most talented skateboarders, period, for sure. Yeah, but you're right. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, something about him.
I know exactly
really good. What it is. But sorry, go on. Barker Barrett, legend. He's a fan.
Yeah, anyway, like
Barrett.
All those dudes. Anyway, so yeah, but Jason Adams, to answer your question, and he went to Scarecrow too. So did Barker.
And Josh Casper, wasn't he sponsored by the Wheel Company?
Yeah, he did. He was.
I just remember seeing him in the Scarecrow Wheels video.
Dude, he rode for Blind and was like, I mean, as time went on, there were questionable stories about the guy, and maybe, I wasn't as much of a fan, but like early days, he was just this ridiculous muncher. He was just jumping down, hucking his carcass down shit. I mean, Jamie Thomas was on the Creature Wheel Company too. Well, it was like we had Creature Wheels. We had dudes that rode for, it was like we had a couple like those dudes that were just carcass tossers, like.
Right. That must be why Jamie Thomas learned Benihana's from Josh Casper.
Probably so. Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Probably the other way.
Yeah. What is the video where the guy skates to AC/DC? If you want blood, you got it. I forget his name off the top of my head.
If you want blood.
Are you talking about a video that one of those companies?
No, it's Scarecrow. Yeah, Scarecrow video.
I don't even remember.
Damn.
Oh no, you're thinking
he has that gnarly scar on his knee at the end of the part, and it's like all staples.
Are you talking about Tom Horning? Maybe.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Tom rode for both too. Rode for Creature and Scarecrow.
Yeah. Right. What was that? That wasn't. What
that was
happened on his knee there?
That was like curious. That was like an ACL, like a career-ending ACL injury. He was never the same. Sorry, Tom. After that, like no disrespect, he tried to be the same, but he would just, he did come back and he rode skateboards and he was still epic. It
was a skateboard injury.
Yeah, it was a skateboard injury. But you know how it is, man. Sometimes people have those get full reconstructive surgery and they go really well, and sometimes they don't go really well. And even if you do the physical therapy afterwards, some people are never quite the same afterwards. And he tried to be. He did all this stuff he was supposed to do, but I don't know. It didn't. It didn't never really work the same afterwards. But yeah, he had to wear this horrible fucking brace. Like by the time Scarecrow days were around, he was wearing this ridiculous brace underneath his pants, and you wouldn't see it, but he had. Anyway, it was a mess.
I was just curious if it was actually from skateboarding. It looks like it could have been a terrible like car accident or something, just because it looks so gnarly.
It was bad, man. It was like, it was before, it was when they were still laying things open and doing reconstructive shit that way. That was before orthoscopic opportunities popped up,
Yeah.
So,
well,
old enough that they just laid you open.
Well,
hope for the best.
Well, I love that song they skate to. That was in the Empire Records soundtrack, and I also love,
I love Empire Records.
Crazy Eddie skating to "Crazy" by Patsy Cline.
So good, man. We loved Patsy Cline. We used to do these road trips where it was like there was two types of road trips we did. It was like me, Crazy Eddie, and Jason, because Jason rode for SMA. I was the SMA team manager too before Creature, and we would always listen to like Johnny Cash and Patsy Cline. Where it was like we'd either do a trip where that was all we did, or then we did like for instance, like the first Creature tour was all Merciful Fate and King Diamond. So it was like literally Merciful Fate and King Diamond, nothing else, except for we had like a Fisher Price plug-in like record player that we listened to Kiss records on that Barker brought with him in the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Now you're talking our language.
So with Merciful Fate and King Diamond in the car, like cassette, and then we went in the hotel room, which was Fisher Price.
I mean, I hate to disrespect King Diamond like that because
it's all right.
honestly, between Kiss and Diamond,
obviously King Diamond is better. But
yeah,
Kiss Army represent, right?
No, I got it.
No, we got you.
Yeah.
Russ, you get you in the pound right here. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Kiss Army. Yeah, like the Kiss Army.
There we go. But yeah, so you decided to just sell those two companies. You were just like,
no,
these are my babies, and
I don't.
and I don't love you.
No, it's a complicated story. With like I said, it's a whole podcast around the Creature thing. But long story short, business dealings on a handshake instead of having things written out on paper is a bad idea. So, and we and I'm friends with all those folks still. Like everything's cool but we had promises with each other that weren't kept, and I decided to move on because I was a kid, and I was like, I don't need to stay here. I'll just start my own shit someplace else and put my own money into if you don't want to do what you said you were going to do. So I'm out. And left and quit and took the whole team with me, and then got a small business loan and started Scarecrow. But Creature was started in a separate location within NHS. We did all the art differently. We had all different distribution, different team writers. I filmed and shot everything for it. But we used NHS's money, so technically they own the name. So,
do they own the Scarecrow name?
No, they don't. Had nothing to do with them.
Okay, so you
could
could bring back Scarecrow.
I sold it to the dude who makes that one I did sell. Sold it to the dude who made the boards at the time, which I don't think he's kept up on it. You probably could bring it back. I could probably buy the rights to the name today if I wanted to, and do that. But I've got my hands full with the transportation unit.
Right.
And I think I can't do more horror film graphics. I think I'm horror filmed out.
Yeah. Well, 'tis the season. That's why I thought this podcast would be appropriate, especially after Svitek's 1031 podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's only October 19th, so you have plenty of time to bring back Scarecrow.
It happens.
Mock up some graphics.
A whole new graphic.
Dude,
distribute
them and get them all on the shelves before October 30th.
We only need about 72 hours to do it all.
Right. No, exactly. Oh, okay.
Well, but by the time we're done here, I'll have the URL purchased and have an Instagram account back up and running.
You're going to want to buy a GoDaddy domain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already did it since we've been talking.
And well, if you have a login for there, could you share it with me? Because I really need to see the ends of those commercials that they'll show the beginning of a commercial. It's like, see where this ends, go to GoDaddy.com. And I want to see the end. But also, I want to say that this is not we are not sponsored by GoDaddy.
No, not yet.
Not yet. But they want to sponsor us. All we require for them is we just want to see the ends of those commercials.
These aren't big asks, man. These are reasonable requests.
Thank you. I thought they were reasonable.
We don't ask for a lot here.
Now, so transportation unit, you completely own that. I saw so you bought that with coffee can money, huh?
I did buy that with coffee can money. But the coffee can money came from a painting. So it was like I did an art show and I took money from selling art and cashed the check from the gallery, literally put it in a coffee can in my studio, and I was like, well, fuck, guess I'm gonna do this.
Well, shit, I guess I'm gonna save up
for a company. Everybody keeps asking for skateboards. I guess I ought to make some. Like we've been asking for them for a long time now. It's getting
When did-
embarrassing.
When did you start the TU?
Dude, it's old, man. It's like it's almost 8 years old. Wait, it's more than 8 years old. It's almost 9 years old. It's almost 9 years old. So 9 years ago.
So right around the same time we started our company.
There we go.
Yeah, we started right around 2011.
Yeah,
There must have been a gap in between Scarecrow and
huge.
And yeah, TU. I was gonna say, were you just working on artwork? Were you going to school?
Were you just looking for an empty coffee can?
No, man. Like I like all the time. I take people's money who want to write me checks to help them out doing things. Whether it's like coming up with ideas or creative direction and stuff. I like right after Label Kills, I was at Black Label for a long time, which is how I knew John.
Oh, really?
How I knew Spitak and those dudes. Yeah, like so the Blackout and the Dwayne Peters documentary and all that. I was there through all that and helped John with graphics and everything, run the company for a few years. Left that and then was at like doing some stuff with folks at Vans for a long time as an artist, and then working on their apparel stuff, like helping like just work on apparel projects, getting people involved in cool shit.
So you've mainly been a creative director for other companies in between that, or
creative director, worked on marketing projects, with marketing, creative direction, and always had the whole time the thing I've been most passionate about has just been gallery shows, so developing my gallery connections globally and making paintings and selling those. So
yeah,
I was trying not to do it in the skateboard company, honestly. So I was like, that was my goal, was to not do it. So after I was done with Scarecrow, I was like, I'm not going to do that again. I'm just going to ride skateboards and not worry about making skateboards and trying to sell them. And then having to collect money from people who, mean well, but they can't pay you and all that stuff, all the things that go along, the less glamorous bits about being a skateboard company owner, that almost none of them ever are done intentionally, but they can be really awful,
it's tough when it's an entire industry ran by skaters.
Yeah, man. It's and everybody means well. Almost nobody means harm, but harm still happens sometimes. So it finally got to the point where it was like I had enough people asking and people offering, hey, why don't you do it for us at our distribution company X that has 3 other well-known brands. We'll do one for you, and you'll be the face of it, and we'll fund it, and you can run it and all that shit. And people asking. So finally I was like, I'm just going to make a run of boards and give them to friends and sell some, give some to friends, sell some of them to shops that I'm friends with, for cash, no credit. It'll pay for the run, and I'll be able to make cool skateboards and share them with homies. And so that happened, and I sold them to folks, and then the skate shop sold them right away, and the people I gave them to liked them, and I had a good time making them. So I was like, well, I guess I should, because then the coffee can was refilled, but with more money, I should buy another run. And that just kept happening. So and they just got a little bigger and a little bigger each run. And it was slightly more official till it accidentally became a company. I swear I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to just make, I like making shapes and graphics and sharing skateboards with friends who I like the way they ride skateboards. That's like, honestly, that's being able to get some burritos and some pizza and give skateboards to dudes who I like the way they ride skateboards is the main goal for Transportation Unit.
You're just trying to exist and be able to, help other people exist a bit as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not too much to ask. You're not you don't want a private jet.
I don't want, if someone gave me one, I'd take it, obviously, and sell it and do things with that money.
Right. I was going to say, having a private jet doesn't do you too
sounds kind of neato.
So you'd have to pay for so much to be able to use it. But anyway,
yeah. To your point, that's not my goal. My goal isn't to, stack away a bunch of cash and get rich, Rocco style, off of a skateboard company. I want to be able to keep doing what I love, which is riding skateboards and making my own, putting my own shitty art on it. Yeah. As long as people want it, and I'm lucky enough that people actually, like, when I make this stuff, they get excited about it and want to give you money for it, which is still blows my mind away every time it happens.
Right. I was 24 when I started Fancy Lad. So, a little bit green, but, at the time I thought to myself, I was like, guys, imagine it. We start a skateboard company. We'll be able to get skateboards and we'll sell them, but it's like a weed dealer selling weed, but being able to smoke his stash.
Yeah.
We'll get all these boards in the process. And
You toke as much dope as you want to.
Yeah, exactly. It seemed like a great idea for weed dealers and skateboard owners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it is. That's basically it, and it's being able to involve people who sometimes wouldn't be involved elsewhere, anyplace else, unless you got down with them. And that sounds horrible. It makes it sound like nobody else would get free boards from somebody else if they didn't get free boards from me. And I don't mean it like that. I just mean the dudes who I pay closest attention to are my closest, tightest friends within the transportation unit community are slightly obscure, for the most part, except for like a Mikey Santillan, who's like, I would argue had the best part in that new Escapist video, Our World. He had like a pro level bonkers part where I'm just like, you're fucking out of control, man. That's gnarly. Everybody else is slightly more obscure, Andy Jenkins' son, Emmett Jenkins, he's slightly more obscure, but he's like really thoughtful about the tricks he does. His trick selection, the way he does them, it's very smart, he doesn't do any stupid shit, like with his life or his personal kid or the way he rides skateboards. So we have a bunch of dudes like that, where it's just, they're all thoughtful humans, and every single person that gets stuff from, I almost said Scarecrow. That was bizarre. From transportation unit, like they're all artists too. So like everybody has a career as an artist as well. Mikey's a professional photographer, that's what he does for a living, anyway. Waxing poetic about silliness, but
it's kind of the same way with Fancy Light. The only difference is everyone has a struggling career as an artist.
Yeah, every artist is struggling, whether they're making a bunch of money or not. You're still struggling to keep it up.
Yeah,
keep up the hustle.
Yeah,
maybe it's the hustle we need to find out about more.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. Did you so you did go to school for art in some capacity, did you?
I did, but I quit partway through it. So I left to go on the first Creature tour. So halfway through a fine arts degree, I split.
Where did you go?
It was in Santa Cruz. So I went to Santa Cruz. Yeah.
Where they filmed The Lost Boys.
Where they filmed The Lost Boys, yeah. It's great. I live very close to, that bridge where the Michael is hanging from the fucking train tracks.
Yeah,
That train trestle was literally, I could almost throw a rock to it from our the house we lived in up in the Redwoods.
How far do you think you could throw a rock?
Dude, mad far.
Really? How many miles?
Sure.
Yeah, that's a good
How
question.
many miles?
I don't know, 6 or 20.
Okay, so average.
6
I
to
think
20
the average
is
human
usual.
could throw 6 to 20 miles.
6 to 20 miles, and at an average of like 78 to 89.3 miles an hour. So it's pretty fast too. The velocity is extreme and the distance is far.
And I just want people to know this is regardless the size of the rock.
Yeah, big rock. Sometimes
it could be a boulder. It could be a boulder.
Sometimes you have to use 2 hands. But when you figure if you get the velocity moving in the right direction, it just continues. So that weight takes over.
So okay. So all right, I just wanted to make sure you knew what you were talking about.
It's like a big boy getting down on the coping. A big boy doing a back smith is a lot more brutal on that coping than a little dude doing a back smith. He's just gonna push the coping harder.
Little guy just like little scooting over it. A big boy on there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a good
Same philosophy.
It's a good point. Yeah.
From one big boy, experiencing it. I know what you mean.
There we go.
I've gotten I have an art degree myself. I stuck it out. I got my bachelor's, but then I stopped painting because I just couldn't deal with the cleanup every time. Quite frankly, that was my least favorite part. I was like, you gotta clean this shit every time you decide to paint. I was like, this is unbearable.
There's a lot of maintenance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's like the art, the cleanup, right? But then also you got to make sure you have the supplies to even have the ability to be able to do a cleanup. You got to make sure you have
paint. The space. Yeah,
the space, all that. Then after you've made work and you have I have a few different galleries I work with, and so you have work that would be staging for multiple galleries, and it's like, what do you do with all the shit as it stacks up for these different spots too? Then you have storage issues.
Mm-hmm.
You have all these non-beautiful, more left-brain problems associated with running a successful right-brained art career. It's it's funny. There's a lot of left-braining that has to happen to do well with your right brain activities.
Well, I mean, running a business is very, exactly, very. Which brain is the one?
Right is a creative portion of it.
Okay,
Left
so
is the math. It's the math and the science, and the art. The arts is the right, and the math is the left. So, but it's
So, I mean, people that are creative are typically a little disorganized, a little cluttered, and that's just a typical thing. So that can be difficult if you are doing both things. If you're more, I already forget which side of the brain it is, but let's say if you're more art side of the brain, you're not going to be, as strong in the,
but I mean,
narc side of the brain, I guess.
Right, your
normal side.
Your cop side of your head is
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. The narc side. Exactly.
I mean, you seem pretty organized though. You seem pretty organized and meticulous.
Are you a narc?
I'm undercover.
If you're a narc, you have to tell us you're a narc.
I'm a
SVU. God damn it!
Even I could tell with the I guess I would call them your illustrations. They're just so minimalist and meticulous. I don't know. It just seems like I could tell that about your
studio fucking narc.
Space.
No, again, sounds super. Now I feel like I'm a narc. So now this is super narcville. I do have these conversations at universities with people like this senior graduating class of art and design at such and such. And it's and they usually wind up. It's like you give a presentation about who you are, and then you have a Q&A, and then they ask you questions about how you got to where you've gotten to, and all that stuff. And I always like the thing that's the most consistent is like, hey, there's like just like working out in a gym or anything you do to develop a muscle and skateboarding. It's like I gotta figure out how to ollie higher. You gotta ollie a lot to ollie higher, right? So it's like same. You gotta art your face off to get good at arting. But after you've arted, if you don't have the ability to do all the busy work that surrounds that, all the hustle portions of it, was cataloging, sending, packing successfully so shit doesn't get ruined to go to a show, and then billing people and then hounding them to make sure they pay you for your shit, and not even, or let alone even remembering that so-and-so who owes you money, all that stuff too. Like you won't have a successful art career, and it's not any better or different hiring people because you have to look after the people who you hire to help you to do that shit too. So it's crazy because there's a lot of
you have people working under you for your art career.
I have had, and I employ as needed extra folks, to help with shit, because sometimes it's a lot. I got people who like receive goods or pack goods and send them, and then set up stretch canvases and hang them, and people who do animations and stuff for me, things like that. I do production work, like that. If I have something that's it's destined to be a commercial collaboration with somebody, I'll just do the analog bits and scan in and send and give instructions of how I want that thing separated and prepared for print, like in a tech pack. I don't want to do that. Fuck that. That's a left brain activity. I'd rather stay in the right brain as much as possible. And because I'm lucky, because of being fortunate and being old and being relatively consistent, I have people who will keep coming back and give me enough work to where I can get some money out to some homies that are really good at that kind of stuff. So they're all good friends. It's not just randoms.
Right. If you need an art handler, you might hire someone like Tom here.
Right.
Yeah, a Tom for sure. Anybody that you need to be able to make shit happen. But it's because it's basically, hey, I have this amount of time. I got to make this thing happen. If I can do it all myself, I will. If I'm not going to be able to do it all myself,
right,
I'm going to be able to get this guy and this guy who, basically works for burritos too.
Yeah.
That can help me out with this because they dig it, and they get a couple extra burritos in their life, and they're happy, and we got to talk a bunch and have some coffee, and we're both hyped. So
now, is coffee code for beer?
No, coffee's really coffee. That's my probably my beverage of choice.
Well, this is daytime, I'm assuming, right?
No, all the time. Yeah, like I make pot, like it's not uncommon for me to go just switch to ice though later, and then sometimes I start if it keeps going long enough, I start cutting it with seltzer. So like Japan, you can get these you can,
very interesting. I'm intrigued.
Dude, so you fill up a cup of ice, big or small as you want, and you can do about half and half coffee. If you want to, like the bozo American way to do it is, which is me.
Yeah.
Black coffee and seltzer have 50-50 ish. But you can cut it as much as you want or leave it heavier coffee or whatever. But you can get what am I trying to say? What's the strong one? Anyway, a tonic water and coffee, the heavy one in Japan. They're kind of like common there. So then my version of that was the seltzer and coffee, because it's like the poor man's easy one that I can do, by making a pot of good beans, but like, running it in a pint glass, halfway full of coffee, halfway full of seltzer.
What kind of seltzer are you running? You doing Polar?
I don't usually do Polar, actually.
But you're in New England. Aren't you in New England?
I know. No, I'm a Californian. I've lived in New England for 7 years. Okay. But I do feel it's funny.
Right, you get a pass. You get a pass.
Funny that you said that though, because I do identify as a New Englander. But I feel like I have an East Coast sensibility as far as my handling shit and I do identify here. But Polar, sure, I could use it, dude. I honestly get whatever I can get for that's pretty cheap. I'm just kind of a cheapskate, whatever.
Yeah, I mean Polar's usually pretty cheap for 12 packs
at the
grocery store. But there's cheaper shit. You can get like the Market Basket brand or the fucking whatever. Like, I mean, I'm a big Market Basket boy or Demoules, whatever.
Sure, man.
But you can get cheaper than that. But yeah, so just your basic seltzer. Are you doing lemon lime? You doing?
I do all of it. I do plain, and then I do all the flavored shit too. I actually have bottles of Perrier too, in there for when I want to feel fancy. It's like somebody has like the people that store wine and have like beautiful wines. I have Perrier with grapefruit flavoring. That's my spicing it up when I'm going to wear a tie by myself in my house, feeling fancy. That's what
one tie, nothing else.
Yeah, nothing else.
We're not going to say where the tie's tied around.
No, it doesn't matter. It's just the fact that
you're wearing a tie.
Yeah, that's what's important.
It's like the Red Hot Chili Peppers come out, they're wearing a sock each. It doesn't matter where the sock is.
Bring your tie to the party.
Mm-hmm. BYOT.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense. Okay. It's like in Intelligentsia, where they serve you the espresso, but they give you the cup of seltzer water as well to cleanse your palate between each sip.
It's very Euro.
Cutting it down, just mixing them together.
That's my French. That's my French connection. Exactly. Usually, any place that makes a beautiful coffee usually will have that opportunity to get you backed up with a seltzer, something with bubbles and water, just like Intelligentsia. I didn't say that right. Intelligentsia.
It's a tough one to say.
Yeah,
I doubted myself saying it right, but I was just going to go with it anyway.
You know what? You each take a few takes of trying it, and I'll put in the best one of each of you.
Okay. Intelligentsia.
It's a hence with an H.
Intelligence? No, it's a gent. It's with a G, right? And like intelligent.
Yeah, but it's a silent G. It's Latino in nature.
It's a hence.
Okay. Hence. See, I didn't know that. Is that your? Do you have a favorite coffee shop in Boston?
There's no good coffee in Boston, bro.
I mean, for the most part, that's true.
Some.
There's a lot of good little places, but I mean, for the most part, it's mostly Dunkies and Starbies.
No, I'll go
those
to
are both Garbies.
If I'm in the North End, I'll go to Thinking Cup because they serve Stumptown, which I feel like is like basically like sold out to the devil now. So it's like nothing special, but they still make really good coffee, so that's good.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite pre-packaged coffee from Whole Foods. Yeah,
it's fucking easy, right? It's like it's consistent and good, whatever. I just don't usually go there, man. I stay north. Like I'm an hour north of the city now, so it's like I'm like right in the Maine, New Hampshire border, in the sea coast of New Hampshire.
You by Manchester or Newmarket?
I'm in Exeter. I'm like further
you're in
west.
Exeter.
I'm further east than Newmarket. Yeah.
Okay, so.
Well,
no, so
in that case, I feel bad for your coffee situation up there.
No, it's better. I actually have more options.
Way.
So, yeah, for real. You can have there's by the trains, the Amtrak station in Exeter, you can get Little Wolf coffee, which is really good. I've got a place called La Melita, which is by the beach, which is dope. It's a dude who brews like Colombian style beans or roasts Colombian style beans, and it's super good. Then there's a Japanese dude is it Newington or Newmarket? But it's Horseshoe Cafe. Super, like it feels like you've just gone to Tokyo and you've got a really thoughtfully made bag of beans. And went from this dude Nori. And then I get Tandem Coffee Roasters in Portland, Maine is the jam too. And then my buddy that has a spot in Long Island, New York, Ace, I get stuff from him all the time. So
nice. Well,
it's kind of my
we here at Fancy Lad, we're sponsored by New Harvest Coffee Roasters from Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
And those are some of the strongest beans I've ever had the pleasure of beaning.
The best. Oh, and those are some of the strongest beans.
You like that? That's right off the cuff. You know?
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah, well, that's
Amazing.
why I do advertising, for companies.
Well, we could talk about,
Beans.
burrs and varietals, all day long.
Oh, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Wait a second. I think, was this an episode
This was an episode of Coffee Talk with Bigzo. Exactly.
Can we play the theme right now anyways?
Yeah, let's just play the
We'll
theme for
play
the
the
end
theme
of the
real
episode.
quick. All right.
Talk! It's Coffee Talk with Bigzo. Beans, ballads, burr grinders.
Oh, that's such a good theme.
That yeah, it was a great episode too.
Damn it. I wish we got to play the theme twice.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I'm going to put it in right now as well, just because we didn't get to put it at the beginning.
all right, perfect.
All right.
Talk! It's Coffee Talk with Bigzo. Beans, ballads, burr grinders.
I still love that theme.
Still love it, and we're back
I just wish I would have been there.
on the Fancy Lad podcast. Now we're done with Coffee Talk with Bigzo, that episode, and we're
Good.
back talking skateboarding with Russ Pope.
That's right.
So for the
Anyway.
you must have moved to New England because you were working as a creative director for Converse, is that right?
I did all sorts of stuff. My title technically wasn't creative direction, but I did do creative direction for skateboarding stuff there, for sure. But it was working on marketing, just running skateboarding, like the patron saint of skateboarding at Converse, if you will. It was like and I don't say that like in a loving sort of way. It was like kind of like something. It was my beast to bear, like the cape to wear or whatever.
Right.
Just looked after all things skateboarding throughout the globe for Converse, which is there's like 800 and something people in that office, and 6 people work on skateboarding total.
Right.
So it's a small group of people that do a whole lot of stuff, and they're all super awesome. Some of my most favorite humans on the planet, for sure. So
Richard Stickney. Do you know Stickney?
yeah, he's not in that group of my most favorite humans on the planet. Like he didn't make that. But Richard Stickney's a close, like on the periphery. Like Saturn has rings. Like Saturn was the 6 people, and then there was Richard, and Richard was like cruising around on one of the rings, like in a circle, like every once in a while, bridging the gap across, and we'd have pizza and hang out, and then he'd go back to his ring.
So Lee Berman, Rob Collins, they're in the Saturn.
They're totally in the Saturn. Lee, and I'm sorry, Richard. It's not possible to say Richard Stickney without giving him shit. Everyone loves Richard. He's wonderful too.
You talking Dick Stickney over here?
Yeah, Dick Stickney.
Yeah.
Anyway, but Rob and Lee, Jeff Dixon. There's a dude, Damian Silver, who works on design stuff there. A dude. Those are my dudes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like him.
What was your official title there, though?
I was global director of brand management for Converse.
Okay.
So it's part of a global brand management team that looked after all brand, which is more than just marketing. It's marketing is part of it. It's brand. It's just
global director for brand management of Converse. Okay.
Converse,
See, you don't work there anymore, right?
No.
Okay, so I just need to know the title for what I'm gonna try to apply to there.
You should. It's a good idea.
Since there must be an opening.
Yeah, I think they split it up and gave all my duties like 3 different people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Duty.
Well, I said duty.
Well, you think Converse would have a guy like me?
Of course. Why not?
That's what I'm saying. Why not?
It should.
That's also what I'm saying.
It's a super smart idea. They need more people like you. They need more cool, creative skateboarding folks that are, know what's up.
So I can use you as a reference?
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect. So where did you go once you left Converse?
Sat back to Saturn and checked on my spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing some serious space exploration since, and it's freaky.
What's so freaky about it?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. It's not freaky.
No, just yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry to drill you, with all these questions, but I feel like I'm interviewing you here.
You are, yeah, right. When you asked me the question of being able to get on this this fucking podcast, it came along with certain responsibilities, and one of them is answering your questions, right? Yeah.
Well, okay. I guess we could talk about what you do now.
No, like so.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Well, I figured
part?
that I was assuming that was after Converse, so that's why that's my bad.
No, it is. No, I left like it wasn't on purpose. I wasn't trying to get out of Converse. Like I said, all those folks there are really great, and I left on great terms, and we had a going away soiree, and like all hugged it out and all that, and we all still love each other. So it was nothing dramatic at all. It was like super nice. But I took a job working for the folks at CCS. My title is I'm the GM of customs and creative, which is basically all that means is I work on cool creative shit. So,
well, you're in luck because we love Matt Price.
Yeah, Matt's the best.
Matt Price, and when Matt was on the podcast, I gave him tons of ideas for CCS,
and you can steal them,
and he can steal them. And you know what? I have ideas for you as well, because I feel like Matt's going to steal those. He's not going to give any credit to me. Obviously, I don't see why he would.
No, he won't.
I mean, I don't blame him. Why?
Yeah, he's from Arizona. He's got to get his comeuppance somehow.
Typical.
Yeah, those fucking Arizona people. But I was thinking, all right, I'm going to give you one idea right now. You guys, we can make a new backpack, okay? Remake the Osiris G bag, Bluetooth ready, little bit more compact. Obviously, has a little sleeve for a computer or whatever. Doesn't need the little fold out for the CDs, but you can have fold outs for things like vapes and I don't know what do kids like these days?
iPhones,
butt plugs, things like that.
Slices of pizza.
Oh, okay. You're definitely going to want a pizza sleeve.
Yeah, pizza sleeve would be so. If it was like insulated, so keep it warm, so you get a good slice. You're in Brooklyn and you want to get it home, you know.
And if you like cold pizza, it keeps it cold too.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Cold pizza is good for breakfast.
Oh, it's fantastic for breakfast.
Yeah.
So you can have that idea.
I like it,
but
that's really good.
I demand on the inside of all the stitching, I need you to write
Signature?
this idea. Yeah, this idea came from Tom Tweak from this episode of the Fancy Lab podcast. The episode number is, and then I'll tell you that later. And then after you're going to be like, I just want to say Tom had a really good idea. He didn't want any money for this. He was kind enough to share it to me. That, I have a whole bunch. I'll email it to you later.
You should.
But I got a whole thing. I just want that embroidered. I don't think it's going to be a big deal, but I want it to be embroidered in 24-karat thread.
And this is what you do for CCS, right? Just so we got this right.
Neat stuff.
Yeah.
You said you did
pitch
cool
ideas
stuff
for backpacks,
right?
Yeah, sure. Any of that, anything that's neat and cool and creative and collaborative and custom, or that sort of shit.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I love my CCS backpack that I have. That is probably 18 years old at this point. But anyhow, I'm just saying, get the backpack game with the get the G bag going. Bluetooth speakers. Yeah. That's a good idea.
Well, I love the, I don't know if you had a hand in it at all, but the new commercial that DJ Doug Pound made for CCS for the pants.
Yeah, no, I didn't. If you, but that is good. I like it. If you look at the one, there's an animated one with like chopped up paper bits and stuff for the new customs program that's coming up, like using the tech to be able. Anyway, if you look at CCS Instagram and check out CCS Customs or whatever, there's like a little bit saying, "Hey, coming soon," blah blah blah. I worked on that for sure, but yeah, it's funny. The CCS was as a kid. They were in the town that I went to school in, and so they were my first sponsor as a young teen. So it's hilarious that I work there now, and they were my first sponsor in skateboarding, sponsor.
Was it Daddy's Board Shop?
No, it wasn't. Yeah.
And you're like, first thing we're gonna do, we're never sponsoring a young teen again.
Yeah, ever.
I was the last one.
Yeah, awesome.
They're like, actually, there's been like,
did you have? So you were sponsored by CCS?
Yeah.
Did you have any other sponsors growing up?
Yeah, for sure.
Were you a pro skater?
No.
But you were this close.
No, I mean it was like what you did then. I mean, you got like I got ads and I got pictures in the magazine. You know, I rode for a company called Small Room and Spitfire and Thunder. I have a bunch of different people I rode for, but that's probably what people remember most. Like if you were to go through, if I get asked questions about most, is like, hey, Small Room was cool. I loved Small Room. Tell me about Small Room. Or
And this was in the early 90s?
no, this is the 80s, man.
Oh, I was going to say, because I've never heard
Old.
of Small Room. Must have been before my time.
Small Room probably died in like 91, I think. And it started the end of the 80s, you know, so it had a short run, but it was like, it was pretty influential.
Yeah.
Well, Bigzo was born in 87 and I was
That's
born
true.
in 88. So
So
we were
I'm
so we
surprised
were
I
around
don't
for it.
remember
Yeah,
it,
we were
you
around
know?
for it for sure.
I'm surprised I don't remember it.
You guys were babies. Babies. Yeah. Yeah, like literally babies.
That explains it.
Yeah. Yeah. So by the time you guys were like, I'm 5, I was done with all that stuff, traveling, doing demos and entering skateboarding contests. And
But we're just getting started, Mr. Pope.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. But at that point I was worried about like taking photos and videoing people and trying to skate as much as everybody else, but not having to worry about hucking my carcass about because I needed to keep up with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Our bones hadn't even fully formed at that point. So that would have been the perfect time for us to be hucking.
Yeah, should have been in close proximity to your baby carcasses and been throwing you guys down like double sets, like with like t-shirts on. Look at him go! He's a child prodigy. He just went. Oh, sorry, homie. Sorry, little homie.
No, it's cool.
I
don't have any bones yet.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
It was
Just
a
like
real
that,
missed opportunity.
Just like that dad from Florida who kicked that kid down the vert ramp.
That's
Every one of those dads, you know,
Yeah.
like all the dads that do that think it's a good idea.
Well,
Foam hitters and like mega rampers and ollie down the double set.
They got their kids' best interest in mind. They just want them to achieve greatness. You know.
What? When I was growing up, my dad kicked me down a 12-foot drop.
Yeah, just like the gymnast
flat.
dads and the basketball and baseball dads and all of it.
Yell exit Nija.
Sports.
Yeah. You a dad yourself?
I am a dad.
Did you push the skateboarding on your
No,
child there?
not at all. They both had skateboards from the time they were 1. They always rode skateboards here and there, you know, off and on. But that wasn't their passion. They had other shit they were down with.
Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter's an artist, and my son was a runner, and he does all sorts of shit now too. But
art and sports, it's the best you can hope for.
Oh, for sure. Touchdowns and drawings.
Yep. Drawings, you know, you feed the soul. Touchdowns, you feed your wallet. And that's what I love.
Fucking crush the opponents. You know, it's all about crushing your opponent.
God forbid you raise a child that's interested in politics.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Those kids are.
They're both, wow.
They really are.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I've never met one.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well that's fine.
Yeah.
You never
But
met.
I don't talk to as many kids as you.
Well, you know, I'm not. Unfortunately,
which is kind of creepy, but
I'm not
you know.
allowed to. Well, I can at this point because it's hard to have a conversation with a kid when you're legally obligated to be 500 feet away from the schoolyard that they're playing in.
Well, and the fact that you usually aren't wearing pants too usually freaks them out.
Well, I'm doing it pro boner.
Exactly.
Yeah, pro boner.
He does most things for me pro boner.
Right. So
everything is done pro boner.
But you know, that's how artists live. You know, it's
right.
Like, you know, you do it for the exposure,
Mm-hmm.
and I think what better way to expose myself?
Well, pro boner. Yeah, I mean, the exposure is always a good idea. It keeps things aired out and somewhat clean and fresh.
It helps with the chafing for sure.
All of it. Yeah.
See, that's what I've noticed. The best thing about the skate industry is that no matter how many hours you put into these videos, you won't get paid for them because you're getting something so much more valuable, exposure. Which I gotta tell you, it's not more valuable than money. You know, from my experience, I've been there. I know.
Yeah.
I thought the screen froze for a second, but no.
Yeah. No, it's very true. It's not more valuable than money.
But you know, I keep making them, so I'm the sucker.
Everyone is the sucker.
Yeah.
I mean, we could just move everything to the Patreon. And just make the tiers $1 million, $2 million, and $3 million.
No, we got to get a big coffee cup. It worked for this guy.
Yeah.
No, it was a tin.
Can.
It was a
Yeah,
can.
coffee can.
Well,
Yeah.
I
But
can.
you could start with the coffee cups to make you feel better about yourself. It fills up faster, and then you
That's
graduate up to a coffee can, which
Yeah.
they don't even fucking make coffee cans anymore anyway. So it's the dumbest shit ever. But it's like,
They don't make a chock full of nuts can?
Oh, they still have chock full of nuts cans.
dude, they don't even know what chock full nuts is.
Well, it's like pre-ground
Folgers.
coffee, but it's like
Yeah.
mixed
Got
with mixed with some nuts because it's like from the time
Cheaper.
Where, you couldn't afford to have all
Yeah.
coffee because it's the war.
Can't have all those coffee beans like that. It's way too rich.
It's
You
the
know,
war.
Yeah, exactly.
People got used to it. It's like, I can't have coffee unless there's nuts in it.
It's like chock full of dirt.
Get
It's
over
like it
here,
should be-
Sonny.
Yeah,
This
half
coffee's
coffee
too
beans,
strong.
half
Would you
dirt.
mind dunking some nuts in here?
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Post-wartime stuff.
Yeah, it's sort of like teabagging, but different. It's like it's
What's
nut
that?
bagging. It's nut bagging or coffee bagging.
Yeah.
Dip those bags in it.
You're either getting tea bagged or you're getting chock full of nuts.
Yeah, all of that.
Mhm.
Either way, you're getting full of nuts.
Now, Tom, Russ here,
Uh-huh.
he thought he was coming on a, respectable podcast where we discuss art and the finer things in life.
Who told him that?
I'm not sure.
Bad idea if I did think that, right?
Yeah,
I
I
thought we
was
were
gonna
going to
say,
talk
what-
about dippable quill pens.
Uh-huh.
What type of ink that I use? Do I
Yep.
use American made or Japanese?
Uh-huh.
What's my favorite brand of canvas? Do I prefer rag paper, cold press paper, to just shitty paper that you get from wherever? These are the kinds of questions I was expecting to answer, you guys.
I mean, you can rifle them off right now.
Yeah.
All right,
right.
paper, yes or no?
Yeah,
no,
paper.
you're a Reeves man. I can tell that, right?
Sure, whatever.
A Reeves BFK, is that what it is?
Yeah, all day. Rolls. If you got a roll for me, I'm gonna draw on it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
You're acting like you don't know what I'm talking about, Russ. Come
I know
on,
what you're talking about.
Trying to fucking level with you over here, bro.
I
We're
know. Yeah, see,
I don't know
I'm
what
talking
you
about.
guys are talking about.
talking about paper, bro.
Paper.
Oh.
Beautiful
Everything's
papers, cheap papers. It all works though. Is the funny thing. It's all good.
And the thing is,
do
it's all,
you like
it,
do you
you
like
agree
the
it's all
single,
paper.
or do you like
It's all
buying it
paper.
in a roll and getting that big ruler out so you can? Rip
Yeah, I
it?
got both. I do, but I have multiple big rolls that I'll like hack it off of with a big thing of like shearing scissors,
Mhm.
But then I buy sheets of it too. So depends on what I'm doing with it. But the big roll stuff, I'll roll out rolls just like you would on stretched canvas and tack it to a wall and run it like a 12-foot wide by 8-foot tall chunk of paper. Because they're easier to transport. You can roll them up and send them places easier than you can a stretched canvas,
Right. Well, you can always unstretch the canvas.
I paint canvas before it's stretched. So when I use canvases too, I send it unstretched places in the same tube and then have people make stretcher bars and stretch it when it gets there.
Interesting.
I heard
Yeah.
if you take the canvas and you run it through the wash on heavy duty and then put it on a
Shrink
light
that shit.
dry cycle, it shrinks it and you can roll it up a
Yeah.
lot easier. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. You're 100% right. And then also too, if you paint something you feel like it's just too big and it got out of hand, you can run it through the washer and the dryer and shrink it down and make it more manageable.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
So
like
a big mistake can get small too. Like if you're really concerned, I made a big mistake.
Mhm.
Put it in the washer and dryer. It's not so big anymore. It shrank. It's a smaller mistake. It's a medium mistake now.
And if it's too small, you put it in the dryer and then the washer. Might be too big.
You just get it wet and you all do tug of war with it and try to stretch it out, make it a bigger mistake than it is. Make a bigger deal out of something that doesn't deserve to have a bigger deal made out of it.
But it's a fun time.
It's totally fun.
I mean, who doesn't like a wet tug of war?
Yeah, wet tug of war is a really good idea. It's like
Hey.
chock full of nuts.
when Tom asked me if I want a painter to be on the podcast, I said I guess so.
I just so. I thought you were going to say it was a bad idea, but yeah, I just so is better.
Yeah, no,
I just so.
There's a
Yeah, I
play
just
on
so.
words because of
Yeah.
gesso,
Yeah.
the primer
Mhm.
for painting canvases.
Right.
Yeah, boy, stretching canvas is a real pain in the ass. But I'm sure that you have a million questions for us, Russ.
And before you answer those questions, just I'm going to go take one of my famous Bigzo's pee breaks.
Really?
I am.
All right.
Whizzing.
All right, Russ.
Lay whiz. It's a French whiz.
Russ, don't worry. We're going to wrap this
I've heard
up
of
real
Les
soon,
Mis,
but
Les Whiz?
I'm good. Lay whiz. It's the French whiz.
no, it's really weird because it's like I've heard your name just a million times living in Boston, but I heard people like Benton talk about you, but I just never actually met you to actually ask you any questions. So
it is fun. I mean, same for me to you as well, but it's like, there are still folks that are like that for me here. It's like I get busy. I didn't grow up here, so it's like, that's in less busy times in my life that you have to meet folks, It's like, I feel like I'm waking up and I'm like squeezing every minute and inch out of every day, so it's like even John and I have never hung out in the flesh. Like we've only never, ever. We've never seen each other live.
He made it sound like you guys like skated together.
No, man, like we've talked about it forever. And it's like, we've shared all sorts of, we've had the coolest conversations about everything, that from tragic stuff to non-tragic stuff, funny and important stuff, and shared, lightweight stuff like art and skate footage and stuff like that. But every time we've almost had meetups, and I bet we probably have been at the same spot before and not realized it, pre us getting to know each other on the digital wonder space. But yeah, no.
Well, where
Anyway,
are you usually skating around nowadays?
Dude, it's kind of slim pickings just because I live where I live. But I wind up going to Amesbury probably more than any other spot, because that little red curb that's there now is really fun. And there's
that looks good. The new stuff they
one
put
next
there
to
looks
the
fucking
hydrant,
awesome.
right?
Yeah, so like is basically a little get hot zone that has like a rollover zone that you can pump and get squarely on if you ride your shit wiggly.
Right.
It's got a little hip that's good for doing a little flying go ollies over. It's got a bank to like a Tootsie Roll curb. And then on the other side has that just standard issue kind of California red curb, which is actually really fun. So that little zone is really fun. And then there's some other shit on each side that can catch you and turn you back around and go back that direction,
Yeah. Well, all we've been skating recently is this choice double-sided curb that we brought Spanky to when the America team was here.
Come on.
Yell legs at our boy Eugene, who
choice double-sided curb?
I'll send you a clip from my Instagram.
And actually, we could also send you the form that to make the curb, because Eugene's the one that made them.
That's amazing.
And we got them. They're fucking perfect.
But I'm saying next time you're in JP,
gotta go there.
Go there. I know that Converse, helped build the JP Park along with myself, but we're not too crazy about how that came out. So instead of skating there, just skate the curb.
Yeah, we refer to it as shit park.
Whoa,
yeah.
Whoa.
Oh,
it's true we do, but it's only because it's the worst park in Boston. And if my original idea for the park was everything would be 3 foot to 4 foot quarter pipes, I think it would be the best park in Boston. Yeah. But they built it all 4.5 and 5 feet, and it made it the worst park in Boston, in my opinion.
I've only been there once, and I went there with Lee Berman, and it was nice because we had coffee and hung out with each other. That was the most important part of the whole thing. It was like more of a social event than it was raiding the skate park. But
that's a rave review right there.
I know. I was doing that on purpose. But I would have gone 3.5 feet and tighter on everything. So tighten all the trannies up, make it shorter, and put some more aggressive coping on there, so you don't have this fucking sorry ass metal coping on there,
and make it put a little smaller and put something in the middle.
Yeah,
too.
little features in the middle.
Tighten it up so you got to actually think about stuff. And you can't fall asleep in between obstacles, and then put some moguls and shit to be able to pick up some extra speed over or get fancy over, and it would have been way better.
Why weren't you giving input along with me during the
I did. I actually approved the very first check. That was one of the first things I did when I moved to Boston. Was like in 2014, like the very first chunk of dough that was given by Converse that went there. And then I didn't think anything was ever going to happen. I was like, dude, they literally took our money and ran. They're never going to do anything with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I was so shocked and surprised that it actually happened that I was like, I can't believe they actually built something.
That was pretty surprising.
Yeah.
But it was also a little heartbreaking.
So your curb sounds way better anyway.
Oh
so
my
next
God,
time-
the curb
what
is the
I'm
best.
trying
You're
to
going
That's what we're
say.
trying to get to.
love
So
it.
next time I come to JP, I'll just go there and skip that park.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. We could always hit up Ula across the street and get some New Harvest coffee,
New Harvest Coffee Roasters.
and then we'll go to the curb.
Yep.
New Harvest Coffee.
New Harvest coffee. Are you looking to shit your brains out?
Yeah. Oops.
I mean,
shit my pants.
yeah, dude, I love oops, I shit my pants.
It's pretty amazing. Have you guys skated Amesbury or not yet?
Oh,
Not since I haven't skated it since they added the new features.
There's more coming too. We're doing like more fundraising right now to get some more shit built. I just did like these horrible T-shirts to raise money for like hopefully like a little something in the back, like a little tight kidney. And then Portsmouth is building a new spot now. They got their money for that. And then town I live in, Exeter, just got approved for a park. And then Hampton Park is actually pretty fun too.
Well, I just actually was going to reach out to my hometown of Norfolk to try to see if they would redo their park, and I was going to try to see if I could somehow raise money to do so, because that park sucks.
Yeah.
And it was built 20 years ago, so I feel like they're long overdue.
that curb is pretty good there now, though.
Yeah.
But
I feel
also,
like such a sorry,
no,
go ahead.
No, you
I
go.
feel like such a fucking tool bag even talking about all these parks. Like usually if I was in California, I would be talking about all the red curb spots, because there's every single shopping center has an epic, like 37 red curbs of varying sizes. And
I mean, the only places you
Right,
find good
flickeriness
curbs
and-
now are usually at parks or places where people dropped good curbs.
Yeah,
there's only
for-
so
for
many.
Sure. And then, honestly, most of them I don't think are good because they try to get wild with the shape. They try to make it like a parking block or make it round because they think it's cute, or make it leaning and invert on the back. And it's like, just make it straight and 5.5 inches tall and make it whatever color you want, but like just make it a proper curb. Fuck all the other bits.
So like I was saying, I'm sure you have a million questions for us.
Yeah. So, okay. Your favorite spot to skate is this double-sided curb, yes? JP?
At the moment.
Yeah,
At
I mean,
the moment.
it is the most. I think it is currently the most fun. Like, we know we can go here and be able to skate for until the sun goes down. You know what I mean?
Until the sun goes down. I like the sound of that. So skateboards, you guys are making skateboards. You're successfully buying skateboards from a skateboarding manufacturer who lays up wood for you and gets them to you in a way that you can actually sell them to other people. You guys, this supply chain issue hasn't been too crushing for the Fancy Lads Skateboarding Corporation.
It hasn't been too crushing. It was kind of tough for a while because it seemed on paper like we were super successful.
Mhm.
But then all the board shortage just made it seem like we were just somewhat successful. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, I do have to give props to Chapman because I think that they've kind of have acknowledged that we're like one of their most top legitimate brands. So I feel like they have like given us a little bit of sort of precedence.
Special spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, respect to them. And, I just take the orders and then they distribute them. And, it hasn't been too bad, honestly.
But maybe those guys aren't actually pressing boards there anymore, right? They're using like a third-party wood manufacturer. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they get it from Clutch. I don't know if you know
Got it.
them. And,
I do.
And then they print the boards there and distribute them.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I think those guys are good people.
Oh yeah, gotta
Seems
love
like-
the G&G, Greg and Glenn.
Nice folks.
Is transportation unit, is that still through like Welcome still doing that, or
Schmidt
No.
sticks.
Yeah, Paul Schmidt's making the
dude, fuck
boards. Yeah, but Paul is backed up. Like him, if you play. Yeah, anyway, it's not easy to get skateboards from Paul. He's making skateboards for a lot of folks, and I've known him for decades. So it's like we're friends. So I feel like we get it fairly treated well, but it's still tough. Hasn't been as smooth as it could have been, but
right?
it's all right.
Well, the
one wants to hear
skateboard,
about-
it's,
no one wants to hear about that.
No, I mean it's a special thing. Maybe people do want to hear about it. You don't even
Mhm.
know it because
I mean, maybe people need to understand how difficult it is for companies, especially smaller companies,
Yeah.
to get their shit to people.
Well, the
know what I mean?
skateboard product in itself is a huge part of the culture. It's
Yeah.
like the board, the deck, the shoes, everything that goes into it's a huge part of scanning through the CCS catalog growing up is a huge
Yeah.
part of the culture.
And then
know?
we
For
tried
sure.
to tell Matt that, and he said that we were stupid. Matt said,
I mean,
"You
there's-
guys are stupid."
Well, yeah, I don't know if you guys are stupid or not. I'll let you know later. I'll
He didn't
decide.
really say that, but
At the end. No, but I mean, there's a new catalog coming for this holiday. Like the same catalog you loved always is being made right now. It's going to be out before Christmas, so people are going to have like that same ridiculous CCS catalog to thumb through. Like they've.
That's
Same
all
back.
I want.
Right, same dimensions, right?
Yeah, same dimensions.
Now, what I
Perfect.
was telling Matt was that if you, and I'll just tell you again, because maybe you'll take this idea and do something.
Maybe I
with it.
will.
But if you guys could just reprint the old catalogs and send them out, I would pay for a subscription for just old catalogs,
All the old ones
with old
Yeah.
shit that I cannot order at all.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And and you just have some new companies pay for ads in there instead of
Yeah.
like the spaces where you would actually be able to order shit or whatever. But like I would fucking love that, just to go through and be able to be like, oh my god, look at all these fucking
archival historical
look
goodness.
look at when flip graphics were good. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah, that was
shit
like the
that.
first 3 months of the company. Like that's
yeah,
when they were
exactly. Yeah, right.
good. And then something happened, and it's been decades.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
But
so
they
you-
even
so you
when
get
they
it.
were bad, though, they still sold a bunch. So
Oh, no, I mean, they had a killer team. They had, you
Yeah.
know,
oh, they had one of the most amazing teams ever for the longest time. It does,
Yeah.
like for sure. That's like I don't think you listed off the people who rode for them. That was super important. But yeah, I mean, I never cared about the graphics, and I don't mean that shitty. It's just that's subjective, right? Like everyone has their favorite shit. It's just not the Tom Penny weed board or whatever was not my jam.
no. I'm thinking more like the magic cat and like the magic lamp. Like those are like the first flip boards I
Yeah.
saw, and that's what
Right.
like, drew me to them. And and it was.
That-
Like very soon after that, it was just like a very weird, not cool art direction. But it was just like, oh, maybe the next run is going to be cool, you know?
That Genie's lamp one was like actually like because they were death box skateboards before they were
Right? Yeah.
before
yeah,
they were
yeah.
that. Yeah, so that was like an old death box. And then that death box graphic was dope for sure. Yeah. Ian Deacon, like he was. I actually was friends with him before flip skateboards ever happened, like fellow slappy buddies from those small room days I was talking about, like that long ago. He's a good dude.
Who's your do you have any famous illustrators or skateboard illustrators? Let's start with skateboard illustrator for the sake of the graphics.
You mean that I like?
Yeah.
Who do I like? Dude, all the original Swank stuff, like the Justin Lovely voodoo doll, or the Justin Lovely stuff before it was Todd Swank, with like the teapot stuff and the birds, all the original Foundation shit, like when it was
Right.
Skull Skates in the very beginning days of Foundation.
Right around the Magic F time and stuff like that.
Way before that, even like we're same thing. We're like when you were baby, like
Glam
80s.
Boys on Wheels, that one.
Before that, yeah, even before that, like
That was their first video.
They didn't have a video. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
it was literally they had like a Todd Swank didn't even want to use his name, so he used Justin Lovely as his
Nice.
pseudonym or whatever first. So he had a Justin Lovely pro model for
Yeah.
Skull, and then he started Foundation. Anyway, those first boards that he made were geniuses still to this day. Like the original Circle F logo that they still use. That you're talking about, like
Right.
all that stuff's super good, I think. And then of course all the Blender stuff. Like Blender's a genius. Anything he's never made a bad drawing ever. Like he's like, Supreme Grand Chancellor in my book. And then, like as far as just stuff that got me hyped, like, I don't know, like Lucero stuff, like there's been a lot of Black Label stuff that I think has been really important. And a lot of stuff, John would tell you too, a lot of that stuff is borrowed. It's like rip-off graphics that he's reappropriated and had the graphic design eye to say, oh, that would look cool as a skateboard graphic. I'm going to redraw that with these colors. Make it mine,
like the inflammable material.
It's probably like 80% of everything.
Yeah.
But it's also you have to be able to see that would be a good idea. So it's a whole different thing. But like
And you have to actually be able to put together, like you
Yeah.
said, graphically designed well enough that it becomes your own thing as well.
Yeah. He's a super talented graphic designer. He's great. But I would say that Blender and that Swank stuff. And I actually didn't care about anything Foundation made. The last graphic that got me excited that he made was like the little people in the little cars driving around. Remember like the little car drawings that were like a circle left drawing? Anyway, maybe you don't remember it, but anyway, these little race car guys. They look like pedal cars, but they're racing around. But anyway,
the first Foundation graphic I remember is it was one called Whippersnappers that just had a doodle of two kids holding hands. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is before or around that time, older. Yeah,
if you look up after we do this thing, look up Todd Swank Teapot graphic or Swank Zine. Just look up Swank Zine because he did a zine called Swank Zine.
Mm-hmm.
All the art that he put in Swank Zine, which also became graphics and stuff, was all really wonderful. And then all the Blender stuff. So for skateboarding graphics, probably that would be my favorite. Those guys.
Yeah.
And honestly, and then graphically, like I don't know if I'm as excited about his drawings, but what he does with a skateboard company has been really good. And it's like we've all seen it for so long now that it's probably doesn't seem as exciting or as progressive as it did when it first came out. But what Panis did with Polar in the early days of Polar was really important. Like I think, and I think what he's doing today is really important too. And Jacob Ovgren or anybody else he's used it also works into the creative aesthetic or whatever, but as far as like making really good stuff that's, was smart and slightly different than everybody's doing it now, but it's, his stuff was really good. I think in the early days with his films that he made and the graphics, he did something that
In Search
really
of the
special.
Miraculous and Stripes and Strange. Yeah.
Amazing.
No, I love those. Yeah.
Like those were like super inspirational for me, even, like to look at that stuff. When I say for me, even for someone who's seen a lot of stuff, like I don't mean like, that's special that I'm excited about. I just mean that like after all the stuff I've seen, I remember the first time I saw that stuff and I was like, oh, this is a really special thing. This is different. This gets me hyped. So
yeah, no, I agree. I don't know what he's up to nowadays, but I also was a fan when it first started.
Yeah.
It's nice when the company kind of bridges that gap. I mean, I feel like, companies try to do it all the time. Like Magenta kind of tried to do it where they bridge the gap into sort of fine art rather than just graphic design, but
Isles made some nice stuff,
Isle. You like Quasi? Just out of curiosity?
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, it seems a little highbrow. That's the only reason why I ask. I don't know. Some people hate it. Some people love it.
No, I think those guys are good at what they do for sure.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm even more excited about the original Alien, which I think the original Alien birthed the secondary version of Alien or whatever, maybe the third version of Alien, which was kind of run and, owned by like a Dill, Avera before, FA and hockey started or whatever. And then Chad and those dudes started Quasi, which is like the natural progression to me, the natural progression of Alien. And I think it's very good, like it's like they do a really good job of it. And I think they know what they're doing. But
it's crazy that Chris Carter also starred the X-Files. That is insane. But it makes sense because of all the Alien stuff,
Chris and Mike did a lot of really great stuff. Chris, Mike, and Blender early on, but those guys kept doing a lot of great stuff.
Blender had a part of Alien Workshop?
The original founding fathers of Alien Workshop was Neil Blender, Chris Carter, and Mike Hill.
Oh, wow. I knew the Mike Hill and Chris Carter, but I didn't know Neil Blender had his grubby little hands in the company.
Yeah, but that's going back to 80s shit when you said baby.
And he was the one who found this little boy from Ohio named Rob Dyrdek. And he's like Rumpelstiltskin. He said, I want that little boy.
Yeah, I don't know who found fucking Rumpelstiltskin, but
yeah.
Rob Dyrdek, before all that other craziness, he was just a skate dirt for sure. Like
we've seen his time code part.
Yeah, we've saw it in person, like all that stuff from visiting Ohio, and like he was just a really great skateboarder.
Yeah,
was pissed if he didn't make everything he was trying, and was just got after it.
Oh, we've seen his memory screen part.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh, we've seen his skate plaza in Ohio, And we DM'd him, and he never showed up. We
Isn't
waited
that-
there for
isn't that
fucking...
weird?
We were there for 18 hours waiting for him, and we didn't have any tents, and it dropped down to 28 degrees. It was freezing. And we were going to try to grill hot dogs, but we didn't bring fire. We didn't bring wood, so we couldn't even start a fire.
Yeah.
And then, and we also forgot the hot dogs.
It's a bummer. You need to have hot dogs.
It was
you
a
need to bring.
hard time.
Can't forget the wieners,
No.
guys.
We can't forget the wieners. So we just we had buns though, so we took turns using our imagination.
Well,
Yeah, that's right.
Russ, I was going to say, since you're a local New Englander, we'd love to take down the wieners with you sometime. And I don't know if you're too, worried about skating with people post-COVID or anything.
No, I'm all right. It's a good
All
place
right.
to be. It's outside.
Oh, perfect.
There we go.
So I say,
Let's do it.
I say, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Then I think, why don't you come to Boston? We'll
I'll do it.
skate some curbs and take down some wieners.
Take down some wieners, have some coffee and seltzer and wieners.
Dude,
That's what I'm talking about.
that's a weird combo, but I love it. Also, I want to skate the new stuff at the Amesbury Park. So gonna let you know
yeah,
next
we can
time
go
we
there,
go
too.
there because I want to
Well,
go. I want to go there.
Anytime you come to Amesbury, it's literally like 15 minutes south of my house. So it's like I can meet you guys there. If you decide to get a wild hair up your ass, we're coming to Amesbury.
Dude,
Just
we'll
text me.
We'll call up. We'll hit up Southie. We'll hit up Vay. We'll hit up Legs. We'll get the whole crew there.
We'll make John come too, because that's the spot we've almost met at like a half a dozen times.
I will.
Well, Benton likes to tell us he wants to skate and then ditch us all day and then meet up at the last second.
Yeah, but if I make plans with him days in advance, he'll feel too obligated.
Oh man.
So he will come.
He's
if I do
sensitive,
that.
man.
So
He's not. He doesn't want to let you down.
I just need to plan it ahead of time. So
Do it on
I
a
will.
day out that he has off. So you know in advance that he's going to be able to make it. Plan it, and then I'll meet you there.
All right, I'll probably be on
Hell
Monday or Tuesday then, maybe Sunday.
Monday and Tuesday is great. I love those days.
I like those days too.
They're
Yeah,
great
those are
days,
great.
despite
They're
what
good days.
people might say.
There's less people riding their skateboards there, so there's more room to get hot.
I mean, Garfield hates Mondays, but he's a cat. And what do you have? Why are you even looking at the calendar? You have nothing you need to do, Garfield.
Shouldn't be looking at the calendar, period.
He's like, oh no, but I got to ship Normal to Saudi Arabia by Tuesday.
And the lasagna just got burnt.
Oh god damn it!
Son of a bitch.
That's that worst week ever.
Son of a gun.
Yeah.
VH1,
yeah, gun. Sorry.
hosted by
Son of a gun.
Garfield. Yeah.
Son of a dag, burn it. All right, you guys.
All right, and either Boston, Amesbury, or Abu Dhabi. All right.
All those places sound good. I like them all.
You got anything you want to plug before you leave? Besides transportation unit and CCS?
No, I mean, like we've got a little 5-minute jammy coming out, a little video that's getting ready to drop, which would be cool. And like I say, drop like it's gonna be just a earth shattering thing, but sharing some organized footage that's not on Instagram, like that'll be neat.
Yeah.
It's like first thing we've done is like that's longer than a minute in a long time. So, but it's gonna have like some parts with some folks focusing on some people, so it'll be good. More coffee is what it's going to be called.
Very cool.
Ooh,
Yeah,
more
like 3
coffee.
weeks. Yeah, more coffee. Yeah.
Dude, hell yeah. Well, you know what? When you guys are listening to this, you check out that new edit 2 weeks from now.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Darn tootin'.
All right, Russ.
See you guys.
You have a good
Later,
one.
man. Have a good
Yeah,
night.
thanks for having me. See ya. Appreciate it. Bye.
Oh, God, that was great talking to Russ Pope.
Oh my goodness! And who would have thought Russ Pope would be such a fun guy to talk to? It's such a sweetheart.
I mean, I knew the guy liked shiitake mushrooms, but I
Mm-hmm.
just had no idea he'd be so much of a fun guy.
Oh my goodness! You know what? I see what you did there, and I like it.
Nice, dude. Now, I knew the guy liked Baby Bella mushrooms, but I had no idea he'd be so much of a fun guy.
Okay, well, you know what? Now you're just pushing it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you could have gone with any other kind of mushroom.
Now, I knew the guy liked turkey tail mushrooms, but I didn't know he'd be so much of a fun guy.
Turkey tail.
Yes.
Turkey tail mushroom.
Oh,
fun
God.
guy, the mushroom. No,
Dude.
that was good.
I knew that I'd get you with the turkey tail.
They always get me with something about the turkey tail always gets me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But we don't want to talk too much about the turkey tail.
No,
because we want to wrap up this episode.
We'll wrap up this episode, but once again, I want to thank Russ Pope for being on the podcast, and just it's crazy thinking of the memories when I started skateboarding of Scarecrow skateboards, and now here it is.
Here it is, in real life, IRL,
the way the world works. You wouldn't believe it.
This is the way the world works.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
No, well, it's a song that isn't that. But, I was thinking maybe we should tell the listeners if they wanted to. We're gonna talk a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that we should, actually explain to them what's about to happen.
What is about to happen?
Let me break it down. So we're gonna.
Do you want to beat?
Not right now,
Okay.
because it's a little too complicated for me to
Maybe later.
get the info out and
With a
try
beat,
to
right.
freestyle over a beat.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
But
Mhm.
see, they say this was an episode about artists. They say, good artists borrow, great artists steal. So what we did was we stole this idea from another podcast where we are going to add an extra bonus 20 minutes to this episode, exclusive only to the Patreon. So for anybody who wants to hear the next 20 minutes of this episode, we haven't come up with a name for it yet, but you're going to have to cough up a little bit of money to subscribe to the Patreon. And it's not much.
It's probably going to be something like Sexy Time with Fancy Lab Podcast, or Fancy Lab Podcast Boys Get Sexy Time with it.
I think we just figured it out. If you want to stay tuned for Sexy Time with the Sexy Time Fancy Lab Podcast, you're going to have to subscribe to the Patreon, and then it'll be right there for you to view. Otherwise, if you're enjoying this content for free, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And also, to all you current Patreon subscribers, we want to thank you so much for your patronage. And also, just let you know, besides that, we're going to be fucking offloading so many video interviews for you. You're not going to know what to do with them. You're going to be like, do I even want to watch these? I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, really. Wow. All right, well, Bigzo, I think I'm good with things that I wanted to say, but is there anything that you wanted to say?
Well, for all those who don't subscribe to the Patreon, keep on rocking in Free World.
Yeah.